Since Lucasfilm announced that Steven Spielberg was not going to be attached to the Indiana Jones project anymore, fans grew wary and concerned over what was going to happen with this project at Lucasfilm. Some of them were disappointed because Spielberg was the director of the original the first three movies. Others said that it was okay since he was also the director of the fourth infamous Crystal Skull film. However, it was just anyone's guess who was going to take on his duties as director and whether that person would be good, better than Spielberg, which is something really difficult to achieve, especially if we consider the old Steven Spielberg, and if he was going to be worse and a terrible director. So everyone was pleased to know that the chosen one was none other than James Mangold, mainly because of his great work with Logan, the entry in the X-Men franchise that became not only popular but commercially successful. That hope and goodwill, however, died away easily yesterday when Mangold took to Twitter to fight a fan that expressed concern over the Indiana Jones project. And this fan is none other than the Salty Nerd podcast member Matthew Kadish, who said on Twitter that he was worried because of Kennedy's involvement in this project, of course, Steven Spielberg stepping down from the project, Harrison Ford being too old, and Mangold took to trying to correct him for saying that John Kasdan was in charge of the script when he is not, something that he did not know, and also attacking him and mocking him at some point. And this is something that I want to draw attention to because it's the standard procedure at Lucasfilm. Every single time we see the same procedure. Just remember how Rian Johnson mocked the fans, called them every name under the sun just because he could, and no one really paid attention to that over at Lucasfilm. They batted an eye. They didn't want to know anything about it. They didn't do anything about it. And that is the problem. Now, look at what has happened with Lucasfilm. Look at their track record in terms of fan acceptance. The Force Awakens was well received, even though it was not the best of the best, and it looked like a reboot to the original A New Hope Star Wars film from 1977. Still, as the new installments were getting released in cinemas, audience started not caring about it, and they utterly stopped paying attention to it and not really watching it. And The Last Jedi made less money, and even The Rise of Skywalker less money than The Last Jedi. So these movies went in decline. Fans didn't like them. And in the case of The Rise of Skywalker, because we know that Jar Jar Abrams is now craftsman, and he has not the talent to take a project that is dying and set it straight, The movie was disliked by both people that enjoyed The Last Jedi and people who hated it. So given that track record over at Lucasfilm, can you really blame the fans for being wary and for expressing concerns? Now, I know that the project is just starting. We have just had some footage of Harrison Ford there, maybe on set with Kathleen Kennedy or something like that. And it's just about to start. But once again, can you really blame the fans for being wary about this and being concerned over this when the track record that they have is poor, lame, and also it shows their disdain for the fans? Can you really blame anyone that is worried? And on top of that, the fact that Mangold took to mocking Kadish's studio, where he records his podcast with his pals at the Salty Nerd, the fact that you have to be that petty, it's just unbelievable from a quote-unquote professional of the industry. Just like that. If you really want to address the concerns of one fan, it is better to be diplomatic about it and maybe even say, I understand your concerns and I invite you to have faith in us. We are going to do a great job. But once again, you cannot blame him or anyone else who is showing concern over this because of who is behind it. And Kathleen Kennedy has shown that she has no leadership inside Lucasfilm. She doesn't know where she is going and she doesn't even know where to steer the boat. So it is going there adrift in the middle of the ocean of entertainment that we have right now. Nowhere is there any visible, clear direction for Lucasfilm and their projects. And considering also who has been involved in this with Phoebe Waller-Bridge and the fact that Lucasfilm continues with this standard procedure of allowing directors and allowing people to mock, insult and attack the fans is just beyond words. Mangold has disappointed not only me but other fans as well, and I don't think that there will be any goodwill left for the Indiana Jones film. If people were worried about watching this film and they were concerned that it might not be that good, their doubts have been dissipated by this, and now I believe that there will be many that won't be going to watch this film. And all thanks to Mangold and his standard Lucasfilm procedure. Drop the booklet. Get rid of the Kathleen Kennedy guidelines to social media and get to do your fucking job. You have one job to do, Mangold. So instead of spending your time, hours of your time, on Twitter, arguing with someone who is showing legitimate concern over your movie, get to work on your freaking movie. I think that it would have been better for you to remain silent and then shut all concerns down, turning in a decent product. But of course, it is something that we cannot expect from current day Lucasfilm. You don't even try to do better, you pieces of shite. So, to anyone out there that is listening and watching these videos, think about how you want to support Lucasfilm in this case. I don't want you to go and contact Mangold. Leave him alone on Twitter. Don't worry about him. But consider not watching his film. Send the message loud and clear. It is not about bankrupting a studio or a director or anybody. It's about sending a clear message. We don't like to be disrespected. We do not support projects that are not catered to us. We do not support projects that involve people that dedicate their time on social media to insulting and belittling not only our concerns but also our work and our personalities. That is the message that we should send to these weirdos. So if you have a care, do that when this movie gets released. And don't support it. It's better than throwing any insult that you can over to Mangold's Twitter feed. And with that, we will keep them shut, and maybe perhaps we can hope to have better entertainment in the future. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and until next time, peace out.